Let's go ahead and talk about the October 15th, 2025 episode of AEW Dynamite. Now, we kick off the show with the first segment of the night where we see Renee Paquette doing a sit-down interview backstage with the AEW Women's World Champion, Kris Statlander, and Toni Storm. So, yeah, they was doing the sit-down interview backstage, hyping up their match for this upcoming Saturday at Wrestle Dream. So, yeah, that's what this is all about. And I like the way that that AEW Dynamite did this segment where we kick off the show with the backstage segment into another one, so that was pretty cool right there. But yeah, both women's stars ended up taking off their clothes. A lot of them, like, their jackets and all that stuff. They started taking off all their clothes, and Renee Paquette was saying that she has enough of this, and she takes off her jacket as well. And then all of a sudden, that's when Toni Storm and Kris Statlander starts talking. They started sending messages to each other where Toni Storm was talking about how she pretty much thought she would be feeling relief after losing the AEW Women's World Championship. But then after losing it, she says that she didn't feel relief. She says that she wants the title back. And yeah, she was talking about how she worked so hard to get the title and how she don't want to lose it again. So yeah, that's what Toni Storm was saying there. And Kris Statlander was talking about how this is going to be the first time that they faced off one-on-one in AEW and all, and she says that, just like in that Fatal 4-Way match, she's going to beat her once again at Wrestle Dream, and she's going to realize that Kris Statlander is a different person. So yeah, that's what Kris Statlander was saying. Both women get face-to-face, and they asked Renee Paquette if the interview was over. She says yes, and then Toni Storm says, meet me in the ring, and then that's when we see Toni Storm and Kris Statlander get to the ring, and both women starts brawling, beating the hell out of each other, and then we see Toni Storm give over the AEW Women's Championship to Kris Statlander. She gets on her knees, telling Kris Statlander to hit her with the title, but then Statlander decides not to, and then both women starts brawling again. Then that's when Statlander gives the AEW Women's Championship to Toni Storm. She gets on her knees now, and she pretty much tells Toni Storm to hit her with the title, but Toni Storm wouldn't do it. She was about to, but then she was hesitating on doing it, but instead she gives Kris Statlander a kiss on the forehead and walks out. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good segment though. I really like how they kicked off the show right there with a backstage segment into a brawl into the ring and stuff. Totally different. That was pretty cool, not even gonna lie. But then after that, we see Jack Perry talking backstage, and Jack Perry was talking about how he still loves the Young Bucks and everything, but the Young Bucks never picked up his phone call when he needed them the most and all that stuff. But he says that even though the Young Bucks don't got his back, he says that he had to dig deep into his past to find someone that had his back, and that was Luchasaurus, obviously, and we see Luchasaurus in the frame. So yeah, that's what happened there. But up next, we're going to be seeing GOA versus the Hurt Syndicate up next in a tag team match. So yeah, that'd be the first match of the night, and it is up next. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Till then.